Oh, oh, hello. Hello, everyone. Hold on, let me move this up. And let's see. Let's play some musica. Okay. Okay, I think, okay, cool. Everything's working. Here we go. Oh, let me actually close the door because I think Megan's watching something. I don't want it to be too disruptive. 1 second. I can be very distracting with my voice. Actually, we did this. It wasn't an intentional experiment. It was just something that kind of happened where, I don't know if you guys know the game. If it's, no, I don't think it's Brain Age, but it's some kind of Switch game where it's just a bunch of like little puzzles that you do, and it tests like your brain acumen and your brain ability. Anyways, it's basically like a little brain game thing. You do a couple exercises that gives you a score and all that. And when Megan initially started doing it, Happy New Year, Luna! Happy New Year! Yeah, welcome. How was your New Year? When Megan initially started doing the test, she scored such and such a score, and then when I came in and just sat next to her, I wasn't even talking with her or distracting her at all, but she tried to do the test again, and she scored kind of dramatically lower. So, like, it just goes to show sometimes, like, you can really affect another person's ability to focus and just do the things they need to do, even by like not even interacting. Like, I wasn't distracting her, I wasn't making like dumb faces. She was just like naturally her focus was thrown off by me just being there. So that's why I'm closing the door, trying to give her some peace and quiet, trying to help her, let her focus on what she's watching while I focus here on the stream. New Year's was okay. Well, today we're going to talk all about New Year's, and not really resolutions, but kind of like what we're thinking. I made like a little presentation, actually. I made a little slideshow that I'm excited to share with everyone. I might do that sort of thing more often if we have some thoughts, then I'll do that. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited to present the slideshow. Happy New Year. As someone with ADHD, I can confirm it's hard to focus. Yes, that's probably what Megan has, although she's not like, we're not trying to put like a strict this is what you have type thing on it. But yeah, I don't know if I'm the same way. I'm probably more like, I'm probably just naturally distracted. I'm distracted all the time, whether there are people around me or not around me. But in any case, let me say I'm gonna wait just a little bit and start with a little bit of just random drawing. Well, no, I'll do this stuff later. But hold on a second. Let me create a new file. I'll start up with some warm-ups, and then in a bit I will resume my presentation, or actually start my presentation. My presentation looks like this. Let me actually move it down. How do I fit in screen? Fit into window. There. So yeah, I made a little presentation for everybody, and these are sort of the thoughts of the new year and what 2026 will look like for us in our channel. And you know what? Screw the warm-up. I'm just gonna go into it. Okay, everybody, welcome to my presentation. I don't really give presentations other than, you know, when you're pitching storyboards for work. And I guess this is kind of similar. But in any case, happy 2026, everybody. I hope everybody's 2026 is doing great. Could you do make Roro do a little dance as warm-up? Yes, I can do that. Yeah, I hope everyone's New Year's going off to a good start, and that you have lots of good feelings heading into the new year. I made this little PDF just to share thoughts, because sometimes I don't have it all top of mind. I'm not the most I'm not blessed with the gift of gab, and being clever off the dome. So sometimes I have to write things down. Okay, enough. Let's just go. 2026. The theme for 2026 is let's go for it. So, part 1 is entitled discipline, and actually there are no other parts. It's just I made these slides earlier and decided not to delete them. Or motivation. I think people interchangeably say discipline or motivation. I remember people saying like, motivation is stupid, you need discipline. And then I looked it up again and I see like other people online pushing back on that, like, oh, sometimes you really need motivation and you can't just like force discipline yourself. But regardless of whatever words you choose to like to focus yourself or to create goals or to manage your time, whatever word works, I'm just saying that we are really going to try to go for it this year. So, me and Megs, we went on a nice walk yesterday. It's been raining. That's why the days are so dark and seemingly gloomy. But it was raining very lightly yesterday, so we went on a walk. And we walk in this particular park. And usually when we walk in the park, we try not to talk about work or YouTube, because like so much of our life is surrounded by, work and animation. And then if you're not working in animation, like the work that we're doing outside of animation that happens to be more animation and more art. So typically when we go on a walk, we try to just not talk about animation too much. But for whatever reason yesterday, we were feeling good and it came up, and then we just started talking about it a little bit. Like, oh, what do we want to do for the channel? What are we thinking? And all that sort of stuff. And I think the main thing we decided to do is like, every sort of bit of time that we have in LA and in this industry feels like incredibly precious and fleeting at the same time. And maybe what we should do really is just kind of try to go for it. And sort of see what we do. I think like sometimes friends come up and ask us, "Ooh, you, Lilith, welcome." I'm doing a little presentation about 2026 and what we're thinking, me and Megs, for our channel and for this year. So sometimes we'll have friends or other people in the industry come up and talk to us and be like, how do you guys make all this stuff even while working and all that sort of and whatever. And we both need to be better about like, hey, thanks for looking at our stuff, we're doing nicely, thank you, and be more positive. Typically when people talk to me about what we're doing, I'm kind of like, it's no big deal, like try to like underplay it a little bit because that's how I naturally feel. We both want to get better at like being like, oh yeah, thanks, we're doing stuff and we're gonna keep doing it. Anyways, like people will ask us like, how do you manage to do all this stuff? And I think the real answer for me is that I really feel like I could be doing more stuff, to be honest. I never actually feel like I'm maximizing potential. There we go. I never feel like I'm really putting it all in because, there are days where I don't work on our YouTube channel. I don't work on animation. There are days where I just want to play Call of Duty, or days where I'm just like browsing the internet and being very unproductive. So I never actually have that feeling of like, yeah, we're really putting our best foot forward. We're really like locking in and we're really doing our best. I mean, obviously we have crunches for different projects because animation always has crunches, unfortunately. But I don't have that feeling. And I think what this year means to me, or what let's go for it means to me for this year, is I really want to feel like I am trying to max out and doing the most that I can with my time. That doesn't mean like only work 24/7, but it is a particular feeling. You know how it is where you're like, I feel like I could do more, or I'm kind of slacking a little bit here. Sometimes that can be a bit of a toxic trait, and maybe that is how it is for us because we are so work driven. Maybe it's unhealthy, but at this moment, just thinking about like going for it and trying to do our best, like maxing out and doing more is what that means. So yeah, it's just a sort of question of like, how much can we really do? How focused can we really be? And let's try to find that out, try to figure that out for this year in 2026. So like I said earlier, I'm naturally like, I think a flatfish is actually very apt to describe myself. I lie on the bottom and I like to chill. Like really what I want to do is I want to just chill. I don't want to be a bluefin tuna swimming out there trying to gobble up everything. I really do prefer just playing Call of Duty and melting and eating at restaurants and hanging out. Like that's what I like. And I'm especially like that when I don't have any structure. So I'm also not good at giving myself like a task list or planning out a day. I think the idea of having a piece of paper or a Google Doc or whatever that has like my time blocked out, the way you'll see like on a person's work schedule, that seems very like, you know, like I'm dying a little bit here. So if like a list or planning doesn't really work for me, what does like maxing out really look like? Well, I think I try to keep it simple. I try to keep it open for myself. I try to not be too restrictive. So what I'm going to say is like for 6 days of the week, I'm going to try really, really hard. And what does that look like? What does try really hard look like for 6 days of the week? Well, for those 6 days, and those 6 days will be like Monday to Friday because we're going to work, and then Saturday because we have our stream, and because I need to really like, if I'm going to work, Saturday is probably the biggest day in terms of working on our own stuff. So Saturday is included. But what that means is like first, number one, we got to build our base. Hold on, we got to build our base. We got to be strong. It's a grind doing animation, so we've got to try to take care of ourselves. That means trying to eat oatmeal in the morning, trying to have a salad, trying to have brown rice, and trying to avoid fried and fast foods. This is definitely a particular thing for me because I am trying to like really get healthier this year. So for 6 days of the week, for this on the 7th day, we'll see. But for 6 days of the week, let's try to like lock in. So this is a quick, easy representation of that. And then number 2, trying to exercise. I've been a lot better about this, but like trying to be consistent on doing some cardio and resistance training because we both work fortunately at a place that has a gym, so let's make use of it. I really found out the importance of doing resistance training because it really is like, I used to just run cross country and do swimming and that sort of stuff. And I thought like, you know, as long as my heart and my lungs are healthy, then the rest of my physical health will follow. But really, like, doing a little bit of resistance training can really build up strength in a lot of areas, and especially even help you like rehabilitate some areas. Like I had, let me go back to the full cam. I had an injury here in this particular shoulder because I got really into swimming like not even after high school, like after college. Like when I started working, at some point I got the bright idea that I was going to try to swim the English Channel, which is that little strip of water between England and France. I'm like, oh, that's what I'm going to be motivated by, is to have this really crazy physical experience and try to do that. But I'm not like super athletic. I'm not super like well built, and I just wanted to do something that would help train and build up that endurance to swim for about 24 hours probably. And through overuse, I really like ended up hurting that part of my, I guess it would be my pec region. And for a while, no matter what I did, if I even like did a few push-ups, like it would start hurting and it would be bad. But like through doing a little bit of resistance training, like using weights and isolating the area, I feel like a lot stronger now. So this is just to say I'm sharing a bit of experience, that resistance training really can be helpful in building up strength. So the next part of the try hard is trying to sleep. It's probably the thing that I'm worst at. Sleep feels like the thing that I can give up the most and the easiest. I wish that was the case with food, where I can just be like, I'm not gonna eat that nonsense. I can just keep keep going. Oh, so it said someone subscribed. Naninella Picarella subscribed. Oh, that's cool. I did forget that we get notifications for that in Streamlabs. But cool, welcome. Whatchamacallit? Yeah, so I'm gonna try to sleep better. I'm gonna try to be in bed by midnight, and maybe I doing other things like hanging out or reading in bed, but at least try to be in bed by midnight. That's a big deal for me. So the other part of trying hard is focusing. I've noticed that I am not good at focusing. That's why I have this presentation laid out in boards. But typically at work, I can't animate, like physically animate, draw for 8 hours straight, even though I have like an 8-hour workday. If I do that, I will hurt myself. So I need to take breaks at work. But I find that sometimes when I take breaks, I just sort of lie down on the couch and watch my phone, and time can really fly in that instance. So I'm going to try to limit myself to like shorter breaks, like no more than 15 to 20 minutes, and like kind of monitor that, because otherwise, you know, you get on a video track and you get distracted, you can lose like a lot of time. Or trying another thing out of like, instead of using breaks by just like being on the phone, maybe I'll take my breaks by going to try to visit people. And that might be a better way to help focus myself than to just like, all right, I'm taking a break, I'm going to like lie down for a second, or I'm going to watch some videos. So that's another thing. The other thing I'm going to try to do is trying to do 2 hours of work after we come home. Usually this is very hard, I found. Like after working, typically what we'll do is we'll get to work at like around 9, and then we'll work until 7, and then get back at around 7:30, sometimes even 8. And so by the time we get back, we still have to cook dinner, we still got to do all this other stuff. And when that's all done, I find that I have little energy to choose to work on our stuff. But I'm trying to set this up for myself where like the choice is sort of pre-made, and that I'm gonna do 2 hours of animating on our stuff, or making backgrounds, or whatever else, every day during these 6 days a week of working really hard and trying really hard. Twinkie Winky 2, I'm glad to hear you're alive. Happy 2026 and welcome to the stream. I'm doing a little presentation about 2026 right now. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do a night shift and not be a night owl, because it's not about like overworking yourself. It's about having like a nice routine and a bit of structure and just doing that. Okay, and then this is like a bit of a new idea, but I'm going to do one member stream. We do have a membership aspect of this YouTube channel, and I've been thinking for a long time, like, what can I actually do for members that would be helpful and that would be nice, and it would also be like not the word's not easy, but I would say it isn't like a sidetrack. Like sometimes if I think about making illustrations in particular for members, or if I think about making member-specific films or member-specific content, it's like, oh, well, that's taking away from like what we really want to do, which is like, you know, just work on making films because it takes so long. Yes, welcome, Twinkie. And what I decided instead is I will do one member stream a week, and during those member streams, I will go through the process of learning Blender, which is something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. It's something that when people come on the stream and ask us what software we use and what software we recommend, I always recommend Blender, despite never using it. So for member streams, they'll happen once a week. I have to figure out what day specifically. It might be Monday night, it might be Friday night, it might be some night. It's gonna be late because, you know, we have to work and then I gotta come back home from work. But it'll be some day during the week. I'll try to keep that consistent, and on those days, for members of the channel, we'll do a little learn. And I'm not gonna be like presenting lessons because I'm not a teacher, I'm not a master of Blender at all, but I thought it might be a nice way to learn Blender with other folks, to share what I learned. Like, I'm not gonna be watching tutorial videos on the member stream. I will try to like learn tutorial videos and figure some things out for myself during the week, and then afterwards sort of share what I've learned and try to do a little practical stuff on stream and like sort of walk through that together, so that hopefully by the end of the year I would feel like, hey, I am very confident that I can make a film, a 2D animated film in Blender. And the other thing about that is like storyboarding in our industry is shifting towards Blender in some ways. I hear more and more about like jobs and work that involves and requires like storyboarding in Blender. So this will be good for me also to learn that for that use case as well. So this is sort of a mini announcement of like, oh, for members or people who have like been part of our channel. I think mostly the people who are members of our channel just like our stuff and have been very very generous in choosing to support us even though we haven't been putting out stuff. This is something that I want to put out for our members in case they are interested in Blender, or in case they just want to pop in and hang out a little bit more. I'll be on one night a week doing a stream about learning Blender. So yeah, that's the new thing there. And then the next thing is to rest. So yes, like I said, the main idea of doing all this stuff is like, I want to say to myself at the end of this year, hey, I really did max out. I really did, like, in a very sustainable way, hopefully, try our best to make the most that we can to do this as professionally and as coolly and as as thoroughly as we wanted to, and hopefully by taking 6 days of the week to really kind of lock in, while taking care of ourselves and while working our jobs, that this will be, by the end of this year, like I'll be able to come back at the end of 2026 and be like, hey guys, we really did it. We locked in. I don't know how many films we're gonna make. You'll notice I didn't include like a checklist of sort of like goals or anything, because this isn't about like specific numerical goals. It's not like we want to reach 100,000 subscribers, we want to do X number of videos, we want to do this many collabs. Like, that's not what it's about. It's more like living in such a way where like I'll have that feeling, where we'll have that feeling of like, hey, we really did try hard, we really did our best. And that's the feeling that I'm trying to go for. It's a very internal thing. Obviously we're gonna make stuff, we want to make a lot of stuff, and we're gonna animate in a bit on that stuff. But yeah, that's kind of what 2026 is. Sorry, clicked on the wrong thing. And the last thing, of course, is just a nice little panel of like, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I'm very excited for this year. Last year, we were excited for 2025, and then LA got set on fire, and we were displaced for a number of months. So this year, hopefully with all this rain, that there will be not like enough. Oh, hold on. I think Megan's talking to me. What was that? Bees? What? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. What? Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry, my bad. Megan was talking with someone else. I thought she was talking to me. But in any case, yeah, that's 2026. We're very excited. Thanks for attending my TED Talk. We will do many more TED Talks throughout the year of like just thoughts we're having. Maybe this might be a quick and simple way to do something like a movie review or whatever else we want to talk about. But yeah, thanks for being on stream and spending a little bit of time with us. Hope your new year is starting off great. That you're doing a lot of art and consuming, I guess, or finding a lot of good art. And in any case, yeah, let's start with some warm-ups. Let me know if you guys want me to draw something. I think the first thing we wanted to draw, let me see, new symbol. Luna requested, I'll just say Luna dance. Luna requested I do like a little dance for Roro, and I will do that now. But yeah, if anybody else has requests for things that they want me to draw, let me know. We're just kind of getting warmed up, and then we're gonna get into the main part of the program. This is a very official and well-structured show of animating on our little shorts. All right. I think I'm gonna. What do I want to do? Okay, I'm trying to. She said Luna said dance, so I'm trying to figure out like what kind of a silly dance we could do. I think this might be interesting. Doing like a little bit of a stanky leg. But yeah, how's everyone else's New Year going? What are any New Year's resolution-y things? I think I'm trying to organize it this way because like I've never been like a real resolutions kind of guy. And I think like going after a specific feeling is more viable to me and is hopefully going to be more helpful to me than just like listing a bunch of things that I got to do. Like I got to be this and this like successful, or this and this, do these sorts of things. I think it might be nice to just like to just kind of I mean, I think I probably live most of my life just kind of like on vibes in a way where like I don't have like checklists. I think I'm more sort of like, oh, how do I feel today? So I think it makes sense to, in terms of like setting goals, is to like more set a goal based on, you know, what's the vibe I want to get to. So yeah, I don't know about everybody else. I would be curious to hear everyone else's thoughts. But also, we can also just chill. if you're just living the new year like, yeah, you know, whatever, 2026, that's totally fine too. So, just doing another little stanky leg thing. The main reason I think the main reason I like Roro is because he sort of moves pretty weird. So, like, that's the sort of the fun of the animating of him for me. It's like just trying to figure out new ways to get him to move. Because he's so limited as a character, he doesn't have like a ton of features that you can really like mess with. So yeah, I think a dance that Roro would do, if we're doing a little warm-up dance right now, would be centered around like him moving his legs in a weird way. So I'm gonna see if the stanky leg thing works. Wait, so 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we gotta make sure that it loops back around again because it's a loop. Oops. And then, all right. So I think this at first glance or at first try, this might not be the smoothest thing, but let's give it a shot. I think the size of him is probably growing a little bit also from what I can tell. All right, so let's see how this works. That's not bad actually. There you go. That's for you, Luna Merriweather. Roro doing a little stanky leg dance for you. Yeah, so like I said, the main reason I like you, and you can also obviously see like his size here versus his size here. Like I copied that previous drawing and moved it over. He's definitely a bit bigger, or actually not that bad. He's just mostly standing taller. So maybe if I shrink him down a little bit like this, he'll look more like how he's supposed to look. Yeah, even then he wasn't that much bigger. It was just like the vertical stretch of him. But yeah, like this is what it's like doing a little animation. I like Roro mostly because he's just fun to move around. Okay, yeah. Does anyone else have like a warm-up drawing idea that they want me to do? I'm gonna put. I guess I don't need to put them there. I'm gonna do like on my own volition. I just like to draw monsters. So first, let me actually change the color of this to gray. Gray. It's a little easier on the eyes. And yeah, this is January 3rd. Jan 3, 2026. Pretty cool. And I always like warming up with monsters, so let's draw another monster. We start with the eye. And then, I don't know. And then we go from there. I guess there's not much more to this monster besides the eye. A little tail. That's kind of cute. Maybe we'll give him 2 toes. There you go. There's a monster, just like that. All right. Let's draw another monster. We'll start with another eye. A little bit different this time. Let's give him a nice, creepy, human-looking eye. A bunch of folds. Sort of like variations on a theme. This is more of like a chunky sea pig looking eye monster. Let's give him little sea pig ears. There you go. And then if you give him like two little eyes there, it's almost like he has an eye in his mouth. So he's sort of like a regular sea pig. He's got some teeth, and he's got an eyeball in his mouth. Hey, that's pretty cool too. All right, last warm-up monster, unless someone else wants me to draw something else, and then I will get to the animation. Thanks everybody also who came around and saw my presentation. I worked hard on that. I was up last night sweating it out. No, it's really helpful for me to sort of organize my thoughts that way, because I tend to forget. I don't have a very good memory. So like forcing myself, well, not forcing myself, that sounds so like cruel and unusual and unnecessary. Like getting myself to write some things down is one of the most helpful ways for me to like actually remember things and to figure things out. Like for example, when I said like it's better for myself to try to motivate myself emotionally than rather than through like, you know, goals and that sort of thing. I hadn't thought of that before until now. I'm actually going to write that down. Motivate self to obtain vibe rather than discrete, because I'm fancy, I'm going to use the word discrete, than discrete goals. Because I'm more of like a vibe-based person. So, you know, you got to do what works for you. All right. And yeah, I wouldn't have gotten to that sort of thought if I didn't have the opportunity to just like, you know, get myself to think about things and to put things down on paper. So it's always good to do that. All right. Anyways, this is my last warm-up drawing. If you have other things that you want me to draw during the stream, please let me know. I appreciate a distraction. We're here on the stream to work on our projects, of course. But I'm also here just to kind of hang out. So if you guys have distracting drawings that you want me to do, that is totally okay with me. Let me know. All right. So what we had said before, what we were working on the last time we were on stream, was this scene here. Let me come in a little bit closer, where big monster guy grabs a little bus, and then he's gonna eat the squid. I ended up retiming things a little bit because it felt like the monster was like eating the squid or slurping them up at the same time as the main focus of the scene, which is Cheese, comes in and does her action. So I changed the timing a little bit of like the holds of how long he holds the squid for and like when he chooses to eat it relative to her. So that's what we did last time. And with that, we essentially finished. This is the last real sort of like scene we needed to animate for this short. So all that I need to do here is obviously color the animation, make the backgrounds, and then composite it. I have a few little bits of lip sync for her when she needs to say like something like "ooh, pretty," because that's like her, basically all her lines. So I got to do a little bit of lip sync, but for all intents and purposes, if that's the correct phrasing, for all intents and purposes, this one is basically done. So what I was going to work on today is actually this one, which is an episode where a little short about focusing more on knees.
Wow, Boss is getting real good at drawing.
So I looked at this, I'm like, what was the thought behind here? I'm missing a bunch of boards. And then I found the actual board file for this short, and it looks something like this. So the short's gonna go like, you know, you hear like a little thing. Wow, boss is getting real good at drawing. Or, wow, boss is getting real good at drawing. And it's a drawing of him, of boss being like, don't touch my computer, basically. And then he's gonna crumple it up and then put it away. And then he's gonna like start playing on boss's computer. Click on the internet thing, pop-up comes up that was like, ooh, you want a vacation? And he's gonna be like, ooh, boss could really use a vacation. And click on it, a bunch of other pop-ups come up, like blue screens, and then the building explodes. So that's the sort of story idea behind this particular short. And what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna just keep working on it. So there's a bit of like what do I want to say? There's a bit of like dialogue that we still haven't figured out, and some things I gotta record. But I can at least work on, you know, for example, drawing the background. Where is the hold on. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna bring this in and sort of like do a little final pass of what that might look like here. So I gotta resize some things. All right, make a new layer. Let's call this reference. I'm gonna draw some backgrounds because we need to draw backgrounds. Backgrounds are important. Okay, let's put this under the background layer so I can draw over it. Lower the opacity a bit. And yeah, let's start drawing. Okay, so let's see. I think the main background is, of course, the computer. Oh boy, free vacation. Who could pass this up? That's a great dialogue suggestion, Greg. Thank you for that. Oh boy, free vacation. Who could pass this up? I think we might change that to like, oh boy, free vacation. Boss can't pass this up or something like that, because he's our little guy Knees here is.
Wow.
Oh, hold on.
Boss is getting real good at drawing.
Like he's very motivated by like.
Boss is getting real good at drawing.
By trying to please his boss. Like he's I guess his lore in some way is that he's like this little Frankenstein creature that the scientist from the Roro short made. So he is like just trying to be a good little employee essentially for his boss. So yeah, we would probably tweak the line for that. So let me actually write that down, Greg. Thanks for the line suggestion. See, like it's not that serious. We're all just hanging out. Like, well, Greg can write our dialogue from time to time. That's great. Thanks for suggesting that. Let me write down what you wrote. Anyways, how we doing today? Greg, I'm doing great. Did you see our presentation earlier? I did like a little presentation. What did you say? Oh boy, free vacation. Oh boy, free vacation? Who could pass this up? So that's what you suggested. I'm gonna change it to boss can't. Boss can't pass this up. That's a great suggestion. So thank you. I was doing a little presentation on our year. I guess if you wanted to see it at all, you can scrub back through the earlier parts of the stream. But yeah, it's just basically like the shorthand is, you know, what's this year gonna be? I'm not a person who like really sets goals by like numerical things. Like we're not trying to make X number of videos or do all that stuff. We're really just trying to get a vibe. And the vibe of this year is trying to just like see what it's like to really max out. And then we have like a couple of things that like, at least these are all for me, like just me speaking for myself, what I would feel like I need to get to that vibe. And so, because I'm not good with lists and I'm not good with planning and I'm naturally like a flatfish. So That stuff for me is like for 6 days of the week, Monday to Saturday. Monday to Friday is for work. Saturday is for stream and for the community. What I want to do is for these 6 days of the week, try to eat good, be all healthy and stuff. Build the body, build the temple. This animation temple that sits before you needs actual maintenance. I don't know how young y'all are. Hopefully you're all of sound mind and body, but when you get to an advanced age in animation, you really got to pay a little bit more attention to like take care of yourself. So it's like eating good, exercising, going to sleep on time. This is like a really big one. Trying to focus and take breaks where I'm not just like melting my brain in social media or like random videos, but maybe just like working on or taking a walk or like going to see other people at work. Then we're going to try to work for 2 hours every night after we come home, which is going to be challenging, but I'm going to replace my Call of Duty intake with working at night, and I think that will be a lot better for us. And then we're going to do one member stream a week. So this is for you, Greg, and for anyone else who is very generously a member of our channel. We're going to actually try to learn Blender, and for one stream a week, I will come online and share what I learned that week about Blender. So I'll be watching like tutorials and messing around in Blender throughout the week, and then I'll come on stream to share and hopefully have some organized thoughts. And then by the end of the year, I would like to be able to very confidently say, hey, I'm Matt of Matt and Megs, and I know how to storyboard in Blender, and I feel very confident that we can make a film in Blender, because I always recommend Blender to people who ask us, oh, what software do you use? What software should we use? Blender, 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 because it's freaking free, and it's free, and it's very versatile, and it's dense and complex and potentially very difficult. But that's why I'm creating a motivation for myself, and I'm creating a space for myself to learn it and to share that, and that will be on stream with our members. And yes, the other important thing is to rest. Like, I am trying to get a lot healthier. I'm trying to max out, but at the same time, I don't think I'm personally wired for that. I'm not really a grinder, even though animation is a grind. I think if I was sort of left to my devices, there's that one episode in like Rick and Morty where they go to a vacation place or something like that, and like in that place, you can shoot things without consequence. You can eat as much as you can without consequence. You just whatever. It's all like it's all fine. And my main thought about that is that I would just spend all day at the buffet, basically. That I would just eat and eat and eat and eat and just not do anything. So it's important for me also, just for like sanity's sake, to like create a space and create an opportunity to just relax also at the same time. So yeah, balancing it out. And then we'll just see how 2026 goes. That was the presentation in short. I will not do that again because I'm not going to present this thing 3 times. Obviously people come in at different times of the day for the stream. We appreciate everybody watching. And now let's go do some animation. Okay. Well, I already did some animation. I did what did I do? I didn't do that. I did this. I did this little bit of animation, this little stanky leg. Sounds like a plan. Yes, that's the plan, Greg. So if you're interested in Blender, come to the member streams. And if anybody's interested, we have a member space, and we also post stuff and do stuff on Discord from time to time. It's pretty cool. All right, so enough tomfoolery. Let's get to just drawing a background. Drawing backgrounds aren't, for me, the most glamorous or interesting part of the process, but they are important. You need to have backgrounds, otherwise this will just exist in some sort of cyberspace continuum. I think I might also need to like update Flash, because the Flash that I'm using at work seems to be a lot smoother when it comes to these kind of lines. Like I'm able to draw at like lower values without it being like kind of janky and ugly when it comes closer. It may just be like a smoothing setting that I have on work. I'm animating for a show on Cartoon Network, or it's a show, I guess, sort of developed by Cartoon Network. and it is going to be published, I think, on Hulu, because Cartoon Network, as it were, doesn't exist anymore. But on that show, I'm very fortunate to be able to animate for it, and I'm also animating in the same process, which is just on Adobe Animate. And then hopefully, if that show does well, which, you know, it should, it's a good show, and they want me to animate again for it on season 2 or season 3, I'm not sure. All the episode orders are very good presentation and good luck to us. Thank you, Megs. Everything. What am I trying to say? All the shows now are ordered on a episode basis, and then the distributor or the network chooses how they want to break up the seasons. So they could decide, oh, we ordered like 20 episodes of a show. Instead of doing one 20 episode season, we're gonna do 250, or we're gonna do 2 seasons of 10 episodes each. So I never know like what episode or what season episodes will belong to. So I'm not sure if I'm animating for season 1 or season 2 or whatever. But regardless of that, I'm animating on a show. I'm doing it in Flash. So if you look at what I'm doing now, dumb as it is, this is the foundational basis of animating professionally. No, I'm kidding. I don't got any cool hints about doing that. Getting work and having work is still, to me, very mysterious. We're just kind of like trying to do our best with the time and the resources we got. All right, so yeah. Again, drawing backgrounds isn't the most glamorous, but we got to do it. So I'm trying to show the process on stream, and I'm trying to show that it is fun. It's fun for all. I want to make a very janky looking keyboard because everything in this world is pretty jank. Yeah, thanks for everybody for coming on the stream today. Hope you all are having a very lovely new year, and we'll have a good, cool year as it goes along. I don't have any sort of sometimes I can be a little negative. I don't know if you all can tell from the streams, but sometimes I can get a little down when I think about future stuff, so I'm trying not to think about it in a way that will get me like that, and I'm trying to think about it more in the sense of it's a big unknown, but we're gonna try to be okay. And whatever happens is gonna happen anyway. So there's no need to be all bummed out about it. Oh, good luck. Greg gifted to Terrasec RK. Well, to Terrasec RK, I say unto you, welcome. I used to have a ukulele around here. What do I have? I have a gourd, and I have a hammer. So, Terrasec, welcome. Welcome to the channel. And also, Greg, thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year. We always appreciate your support and generosity. What y'all? Thank you. Welcome. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a great year. I got this fancy new mic. Maybe the recordings on our episodes will sound better because we have a fancy new mic now. Who knows? All right, let me put the hammer down, the gourd down. Let me take a little sip of water. All right, and back to the animation. Back to drawing keyboards. Keyboards. All right. I think he has like a little numpad over here. That's pretty important. I bought a new mouse yesterday because I need to have an actual mouse to do Blender stuff. The thing that people have said on the forums or online is you need a good mouse with a good middle mouse button click because you use that button quite a lot. So, yeah, I got a new mouse. I'm gonna take it all very seriously. When you come on our streams, you'll be like, wow, he's so serious about animation. Ooh, let's have some lights, because lights are cool. Let's make a complete numpad. Okay, we'll add the 0 here on the side. that we get a little special side button for the 0. And okay, that I think is as much a detailed kind of keyboard as we would actually need. Let me move that a little bit. Let's give the keyboard a nice little crack. Typically I would do stuff, and let's give it a few like food smudges, because you know it's a dirty business. Typically we would make our our backgrounds in Photoshop, but I think it's okay enough to do the line work here. And then if we need to adjust the colors of the line, I don't know if you guys know from like our last short Roro, we had a lot of colored line usage, because I think like if everything is like a black line, it's a bit like too contrasty and a little bit hard to see in spots. So we're gonna use colored lines from time to time. Let's just kind of weather everything a little bit. I will probably add like a bit of junk in the background, because this is the boss's computer, and the boss is a very busy science man, so it seems like he would have a lot of clutter. I think this is good enough for the background, actually. And now let's design some icons. So I will design a couple icons that let's just call these still icons. These ones won't move. So of course we need to have a trash bin, because what is a computer without a trash bin? What is a computer if not a trash bin? And maybe he's very good about emptying his trash bin. Or actually, no, let's make it cluttered. He has a very full trash bin. What do these old Mac icons look like? Old Mac desktop icon. Yeah, a lot of these are pretty. Let me see, old desktop icons. Like I love this. This is so like, it's like, I don't know if these things are actually beautiful or if they're actually ugly. Let me copy this image and show you guys what I'm looking at. Let's see. I gotta reorganize like all this stuff in a bit, but for now I do want to share like, look at these. Look at this beautiful art. Look at these beautiful icons and how nice things were. Again, this is where I'm like, this is good design, but I assume that most of why the design looks like nice is because, first of all, it is extremely designed. Like every sort of little pixel that you see in pixel art. Well, I'm not sure now, because I think there are more techniques to have more complicated pixels and have like CG converted into pixels, which makes some like pixel art feel a little bit too smooth and not actually as distinct as, you know, something old like this. But if you see pixel art, the idea of it is that like every single pixel was very deliberately placed, which is what makes it tedious, but also what makes it beautiful. So I'm not going to do pixel art because we don't do pixel art, but I think like trying to simulate this kind of a look is what we're going for in terms of these icons. So I can adjust, this is ref, I can adjust the trash can to be a little bit more grainy, like having a bit of a texture to it. So let's see. Again, if anybody wants me to draw different stuff, or has not draw different stuff, what we do on the stream is we just try to make the stuff that we would make otherwise, but we're making it on stream. So I'm not gonna make random videos or anything like that. But if you guys want me to draw something, again, I'm here to make stuff, but I'm also here to just hang out. So let me know. Let me know. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to make this look a little bit more pixely. And again, this is like not actual pixel art, but we can like simulate the pixel art feeling a little bit. That kind of looks like a trash can a little bit more. Instead of having a smooth edge, we can have like a blockier edge. Yeah. Yeah, just talking through some art process is what I do on the stream a lot. There you go. That looks a little bit more like trash already. There we go. And then I think on the icon it says like trash. So let's write out. Trash. I'm not good at designing text either, but at least we can do a sort of facsimile of the design. Alright, cool. It's not perfect, but that's okay. It's just an icon. Alright, so we have trash. What else is typically on a desktop? Let's see. I know there's gotta be, we have to have an internet thing. Hearts. Hearts is good to add. Let's do hearts. Or solitaire, which we'll call it. Let's do Minesweeper actually. I used to play like a lot of Minesweeper. I don't know how old y'all are, but I am from a time when like the only computer game I could really have access to was Minesweeper. I don't know if that's an age thing or just like an access thing, but yeah, Minesweeper holds a bit of a special place in me heart. I could never do any of the intermediate and beyond type difficulties, but that doesn't look like a mine. Maybe like I'm trying to to do the aesthetics a bit too much. Let's just try to do a regular mine first, and maybe we can like self-correct on it afterwards. Boo 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 boo. We can add the style sort of after we have the shape. Is the boss of this little guy evil? I don't think we have any. We haven't specifically made any character evil in our world. I think the next episode we're working on for Roro will have a character that is, for all intents and purposes, evil. That's the second time that I've used that phrase on this stream. Maybe it's becoming a favorite. But yeah, I don't think the scientist in this case is actually evil as much as it is kind of insecure and narcissistic, which I guess is like a good component for being evil. I would say certain folks who end up being like commonly understood as evil share that trait of being narcissistic. But yeah, I don't think he's naturally like I want to do harm to the world, as much as it is like he wants recognition and that sort of thing. All right, so we did a little mine. So what's another icon that we can put on this computer? The last thing we need is an internet icon, and that's the one that he will actually click on. So yeah. Blur. What else did you guys have on your desktops? Maybe a notepad icon with a to-do list. Okay, we can definitely do a notepad icon. I think this will look better once the icons will look better when we get them into color and stuff. For now, they kind of look a little janky. I thought about like doing this as actual like pixel art, but I think that would look sort of too far off the world. We want to make all things sort of look harmonious. This isn't like you know how in Smiling Friends they have mixed media things where some things are CG and some things are pictures, and there's lots of different shows that do that sort of stuff. Roro, I don't think is a show that does mixed media, because it's very much just like the aesthetic of how Megs and I draw. So that's why we're not doing this in actual pixel art. Okay, 3 icons. That's pretty good. Notes, mines, trash. I guess I could also, instead of mines, write WMDs, but that feels like too politically charged. so I'm not going to do that. And then I'm going to do this internet icon. Internet icon. So, I think I could do a backwards E. That was the original design. That might be the simplest one to do this. To do for this. Do 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 do. Yeah. Thanks everybody for being on the stream. We really do appreciate your company. I'm very much like a work by myself kind of person. Like when I work at work, I very much just kind of head down and hang out with myself. It can be challenging sometimes because like people will want to eat lunch together, and I am so grateful and happy that people do that for themselves. At the same time, a lot of times I'm just like, I need to sit by myself and be seemingly antisocial, but not actually. I think some people have like tendencies that people would consider like, oh, he's antisocial, but really it's like that. It's really not. Like you're just trying to, at least for me, when I eat lunch by myself or when I try to do things by myself, it's not because like I don't want other people around. I'm actually very happy when I see other people like just, you know, living their lives and hanging out together as a crew. It's like, especially in animation right now where things are so like dire and like a lot of people don't have like a ton of work, and there's opportunities, like seeing other people in our industry or at work just like hanging out and having a good time, it brings me like a lot of joy. It's just that for me personally, a lot of times I'm like, I need to focus, and I need to decide, or I need to choose to whether or not I'm going to go socialize with people. I like, if you just come up to my office and be like, hey, you want to eat lunch? I'm more likely than not going to be like, I'm going to work or I'm going to have lunch by myself. I need to like tell my brain, hey, you're going to go socialize with people right now. And like, I think that can be construed as antisocial. But I think it's just a different way that people work. Like, I'm pretty spontaneous and flexible about a lot of things, but I do need to be a bit prepared to go hang out with people. And so, segueing that to talking about the stream, when I come on stream, I'm very prepared. I'm here to hang out. I'm here to socialize. And then it's like a switch for me in my brain to like tell myself, okay, this is what you're doing right now, and you're going to commit to it, and you're going to have a lot of fun, and it's great. So I appreciate when people come on the stream and say hello and all that sort of stuff. Maybe I'll call this Enternet because it has the E. Enternet. Kind of makes sense. I never knew why. I guess the E was for Explorer. So that's why it makes sense. Enternet. It's kind of cool, right? You wanna make your things sort of a little strange. I think Internet is a good compromise. The internet in this world is called Internet. Or maybe Internet is not even the internet, it's just something else. Who knows? Who knows? Not I. Whoops. I don't know why Flash does that. See, there's so many like little things about Flash that are good, and also so many little things about it that are really like, I don't know why it just deletes all those lines from time to time, and I don't want to figure it out, and I'm too scared to ask at this point. So I'm just trying to make it work for the time being. All right, so these are the icons that he has on his computer. Let me actually move notes up over here so it's not all like kind of sitting in a line. I think part of the computer display needs like the top toolbar and all that sort of stuff, but I can worry about that later. All right, let's do some animation actually. And the animation for this, let's do it by creating the mouse asset. Let's call this mouse. So we can make all these at a lower opacity, right? Okay, yes, and then we can hide this reference because we don't need that anymore. Let's actually make this even lower opacity. So we don't need to see that clearly. Okay, we can delete that layer. Let's save our progress, and then let's add a mouse. Oops, wait, instead of deleting that, I first need to see the mouse. So let's say mouse right here. It connects somewhere in the back vaguely, it's fine. Here's a little mouse thing. Let's give it a little front nub. And then a nice connecting thick line. We're all about them thick lines, y'all. Oh, I think the music stopped, so let me start that up again. Make it a little bit louder. If the music is unbalanced or whatever, let me know. All right, let's make it a very simple 3-button mouse because we were just talking about 3-button mice. 3-button mice. Okay. So there we go. It's pretty simple mouse setup. So what he's gonna do is if we go back to the board file, where are the boards? Right. So after he says like, wow, boss is really good at drawing, he's gonna fold the drawing up, go away, and then he's gonna grab this mouse and start clicking on different stuff. So I might actually, for the first pose of this mouse, need to make it a bit closer to the screen. Because this is in vertical format, or this is designed to be in vertical format. Oops. What did I do? Let me hide that. I think I want the mouse more to be like right here, so we don't have to like pan away to have him, use the mouse and click with it. So let's just do that. Let's add that here. Ooh, I'm getting a little hungry. Okay, so like this. Anyone play any games lately? Anybody play, what's that game called? Kingdom Come Deliverance? Or Kingdom Come 2, I think? I've been sort of mildly curious about it, and I'm not sure if I should jump in. So if anybody has any sort of experience, let me know. I've been playing Red Dead recently, just because, it's probably my favorite game emotionally. It's not the game that I played the most. Call of Duty right now is the game I played the most because it's the most I can just turn off my brain and run around and shoot, which is nice. But Red Dead is the game I think I appreciate the most. So he's gonna put that down. So where did I put his other hand? Okay. And I think right. So let's go knees. I gotta reorganize this file, but I'll do that off stream. So he has both hands.
Ryan.
And I think after this, he's gonna let go with one hand. Let's put on our onion skin. So he's gonna let go with this hand. And he's gonna use this hand to go grab the mouse and do a little clicky. So here we go. Finally, we're animating an hour and a half into the into the stream. Have I been going for an hour and a half? Maybe. I don't know. I'm getting a little lost sometimes. Okay. Anyways, he's gonna open up his hand. Well, let's give his movement a little speed. Actually, I like this dumb thumb. I'm gonna keep this thumb dumb like this. Here we're covering the mouse entirely. A little bit too much. Okay. I think we need to hover his hand. Let's open up his fingers a little bit here so you can see there's a little bit of anticipation for what he's doing with his hand. Okay. about a hot 15 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes into the stream. That's right. Sometimes it's like that. But I think we talked about some important stuff today, like what 2026 is going to be about. I basically predicted all of 2026 for us, and that seems important. No, I don't know. I'm like, again, we had such a good feeling about 2025, and it really ended up like pooping in our faces a little bit. So I'm hoping that this good feeling for 2026 lasts a bit longer and manifests itself a bit better in terms of how it actually goes. So yeah, I'm giving him these little janky fingers because again, he's a little Frankenstein guy. That's also the nice thing is that like, if the lore for your character allows them to be a little rougher, then you can be rougher with them, and that's partially why I don't do anime characters because they all look so freaking clean. It's a little intimidating. I'm like, I don't want to draw that clean. So instead, we animate little dirt guys like cheese here, or knees here, sorry, excuse me. Does anybody here have favorite things that they like to draw? I think I've very, very strongly established that my favorite things to draw are monsters. So, let's see. So we don't need to have his hand hover that long and be like that gentle with the grab. Yeah, we can also, instead of having him hover, sort of have him coming down immediately. And then here, where's the mouse? All right. Whoop. Here's the mouse. I think at this point we'll just make it part of his hand. He's just gonna grab it. I think I need to make this document a little bit bigger. Yeah, let's make the document a little bit bigger. Let's make the height 2400. Why not? Who cares? All right, so I'm gonna make it like this. So I just have a little bit more breathing room when it comes to working with this animation. So he's gonna grab it. And probably actually like copy. Let's copy this part of the mouse. And then let's drop it in so that we don't have to copy that whole thing right there. So, all right, so he's made contact with the mouse. And then instead of like doing a bunch of E's in, let's be snappy about it. Let's just have him move the mouse right away. Just get right into it. Hand animation, y'all. Hand animation. It's what sets apart the greats from the not so greats. No, I'm kidding. That's more me reflecting on. I remember when I first started getting into animation, my own characters doing silly things. Greg, yeah, I actually liked drawing Chicken Greg, so I appreciate and hope you liked the Chicken Greg that was on the New Year's Happy New Year's video that we did. Yeah, I think like the main things I like drawing probably are our own characters, but that's why I like drawing monsters, is because like they feel like, you know, they're a little ugly and unwanted in their world, but they are wanted in the sense that you made them. So you're like, it's like a kind of acceptance and welcome that that you can create for yourself. Let's move this up again. Let's do it like this. Usually I don't copy paste stuff, but I think with some of the more complicated things, like I don't mind like doing a little bit of a slide. So grab, slide, slide. And here we'll have him have his finger up so that we can see the click that he's gonna do. Like his meaty, janky hand. 3 fingers also. 3 fingers is superior to 4 fingers. Okay, so let me actually worry about the cord like the mouse cord thing later, because I think if I get caught up on the cord, I'm gonna get a little bit too involved in the detail of the mouse tail. But let's just do this. Do another little trace back, and then I will add the mouse cord in a later cleanup thing. Okay, I think we can move them up even a bit further. And then again, we don't need to hold too hard on it. We can just have them click. We don't need a lot of anticipation for this. I think we just need a little overshoot, and I think we would be doing great. Yeah, and this is how I animate. Professionally, y'all. So, click. And then we're gonna, just pop it up a little bit so that we give it a little overshoot and settle. Okay, so now this looks like this. So here's like, let me just zoom in a little bit. Well, no, let's do a little fit to window.
Wow, Boss is getting real good at drawing.
Okay, so yeah, his hand is still hovering a little bit too much, I think. Like this is like, why is he taking his sweet time just going to click on his mouse?
Drawing.
But that's okay. Maybe we can even take out, what is that, 4 frames right there? Take out those 4 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4. And see how the timing feels with that taken out.
Drawing.
Yeah, it feels a lot better. So it's still like, his hand is still like up doing a little bit of an antic. But it's a lot quicker. So he's gonna like, whoop. So let's have the cursor. Now we have to animate the cursor. Cursor. Let's see. Let's have the cursor be. Let's move the internet icon because I think everything feels a little bit crowded over here in the corner there. Ayo, Dave, welcome to the stream. Happy New Year. How be you? And let's make the cursor. Should we make it a pointer? Let me look at different mouse cursors. See what they look like. It's been forever. It has been forever. I only stream like once a week, twice a week now when we start doing our Blender streams for our members. But it can feel like a while. Let's see. There is the arrow. Do I want to do an arrow? I might just do an arrow for like a placeholder right now, just cause like, you know, we gotta try to just keep going. Happy New Year! Yes, Happy New Year to you as well. Hope you had a good one. And hope you're continuing to have a good one. It's been very rainy here in LA, which I think is good for our earth and dirt over here. Hopefully that means we'll have a less crazy fire season. The worry about a lot of rain is that like that means there's going to be a lot of growth, and when there's a lot of growth, that can be problematic because then, you know, that means there's a lot more fuel for the fire to burn at. These are things that I wish I didn't have to care about. Like, I want to just care about, you know, simple things like animation and having fun. But, you know, we live here in a fire zone, so we have to, like, care about it a little bit. Okay, so now we'll have a simple little, like, 3-finger. I think this is probably better to go than, like, than the little diamond thing. So here, I think we'll just animate it by very literally just sort of copy-paste moving it. So we're gonna have a little antic because he grabs the mouse, and then we'll just match his movement. there's a little bit of lag because it needs to accelerate. And then when he clicks it, I think we can change it to like a little pointy icon. So it clicks, and then it snaps back. All right, we're sort of slowly building this scene. Let's play it again from the top, just to see how it's looking thus far. Let me lock this in. Okay, so.
Wow, Boss is getting real good at drawing.
So, closes it.
Wow, Boss
I
is
might need
getting
to slow
real
it down a
good
little
at
bit,
drawing.
just because like it moves so quickly that maybe we want to slow it down just so that you can register what's happening. I think that's what I'm feeling. Where like if you're just looking at the hand itself, like I think the movement of it or the speed of it is fine, but I think we want a little bit more time for people to tell like, oh, he's moving a mouse and the cursor is moving. We can take time away from this hover, or I'm glad that we did because it felt like way too long. But yeah, let's make the mouse movement a little slower. So let's do this. Let's maybe add 3 frames. Let's add 3 frames and then we can always take away frames if we want to later. Oh. Yeah, we're back home and we're doing a lot better. Yes, it's nice. I think like for us to do animation, to do it regularly, we need a bit of stability. So we're very grateful that we have that stability of being home and being able to like just concentrate and not like worrying about where we're going or who we're inconveniencing and stuff like that. So it's a big deal for us. So let's say. Let's make it on this. We'll do one of these. All right. Let's just have him sort of have a bit of a slower acceleration as he moves the mouse. Yeah, Davey, have any special sort of plans or thoughts about the new year? I said earlier, I did this presentation earlier. I'm not going to do it again because I did it already twice on stream. But do you have any sort of like how you process the year and stuff? I said earlier that for me personally, I'm always a person. Ugh. But I'm a person who tends to think about things like a new year in terms of theme, and I think the theme for this year for me is going for it. So that's what we're feeling like for now. So then I can make this a little bit smoother. Okay. Yeah, I think like adding that time is gonna help with the with just perceiving, because there's quite a bit happening here. I think adding that bit of time at the beginning is gonna help with perceiving that like this thing is happening. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. A little cough. That means a little sip time. All right. What time is it right now? We've been going for an hour 30. Okay. I think there's a couple of creative decisions I haven't made here in terms of like what's the first screen that he's gonna see. Like when you click on the internet before, like what's the actual thing that you end up seeing? Like if I look at like the Netscape homepage, let me find a Google image of it. Let's see what looks old. Copy image. All right, I can share this to you all. Where is the reference? Okay, not that. This, yeah, this. So this is an example of what like a home page might look like on Netscape. I don't know if y'all are old enough or seasoned enough to have used a Netscape browser. But yeah, it's like, okay, so if you click on the internet, what do you end up seeing as your front page? Like we haven't creatively made that decision yet. So I'm not sure if I can like I can make that asset right now, but I can make maybe like the framing. Like I can make this little part and like this little sort of thing, and then we can decide what we want to fill it with. Like look at this stupid little guy. We can decide what we want to fill it with like afterwards. It'll be something, not some kind of nonsense, but maybe I just make like the framing of it, and then yeah, whatchamacallit. That's great to hear. Theme for me is getting back into art. Hold on, let me go on here. Theme for me is getting back into art. Last year's been the best with going out and doing new things, but unfortunately creatively it was bad. Didn't animate much and didn't finish projects. So this year I'm gonna go after both. Yeah, that seems like a similar boat to us, Dave. Hopefully we will be much more consistent about streaming. I'm gonna commit to. I think we tried various different things. Like I tried to stream multiple days a week, and sometimes I streamed very inconsistently. But we are on a year of just like trying to do our best as well. So we will be each other's companions in this year of making art and trying our best to make stuff. So cool. Very glad to hear. Do you have a specific project that you're trying to get movement on, or are you just wanting to do more in general? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the box. So he's going to click on the icon. I haven't figured out how I'm going to animate the icon. It might just be like, because we could just add like a gray layer behind it and sort of indent it a little bit, and that's like one way to do it. I think I'm going to just I'm just going to focus on the stuff that I don't need to make a decision about right now. So I'm going to do box 1. Yes, this project already has like so many layers, and all these layers end up doubling when we color it, because we have to duplicate it and then color it. And sometimes there's even more layers if there's like a special lighting thing. Hopefully we're going to keep this simple because these shorts are supposed to be very simple. But yeah, I can sort of feel it kind of already getting a little cluttered. But yeah, so he's gonna click on it, and then after a slight delay, pretty quick delay, I think we need to open a box. So what does that box look like? Can't wait to see what will come up. Love the new short. Yeah, thank you. Do more in general. I think the original projects become intimidating, so I'm gonna make some fan animations for my favorite movies. That's great. There's no sort of like set what you have to make type of things. I think like the more work I do, the more I feel like all that stuff is pretty. It's just like it's just you got to do what works for you, you know. I actually like having big projects because it feels like the main thing I want to do this year in terms of like making stuff for us is I would like to be able to do 2 Roro shorts. I don't know how much time we're gonna have for both of that, and again, that's why I didn't set like a goal-oriented type of theme or stuff for like my New Year presentation thing, because I think that stuff can be a bit of a trap. And instead, like we're gonna try to just make what we can and try hard, and if we obtain that vibe, then I think we're in a good place. But in terms of like projects and all that, like, hold on, why is this? Is that the background I drew? Oh, it is. In terms of projects, like I like doing stuff that is a bit bigger, because I like the feeling of world building, and that's what the main thing I'm trying to do with Roro is to be able to add more episodes so that we can make it a richer world full of cool characters and like cool ideas. So yeah, I'm very motivated to do more episodes of Roro and to get it to a place where people can be like, oh yeah, I'm not just watching one short, I can dive into a whole world and like get to experience something that feels like, you know, you're entering into a cool space. The sort of feeling that you would get when you're playing a video game, a new game, or like, you know, hopping on a new list. I think the tough thing about animation is because it takes so long, like it might be years before like someone finding our channel for the first time will be like, oh, they make lots of shorts, and they make one short that has like this whole like, you know, world behind it. So, but anyways, you gotta build up to it. So that's the hope, and that's why we're gonna try our best to do it. All right, hold on a second. I need to go back. What does Netscape look like? All right. I like that texture, but I think that's something that I'm gonna have to do in coloring. And I think we'll have a simple scroll wheel or a simple scroll area. Again, this is not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be okay. The idea isn't perfection, it's for it to feel like what we're going for. Vibes, baby! Vibes. So I'm just gonna make it a slightly, zoom in slightly bit bigger, so we have a bit of an ease out. All right, every sort of new thing ends up adding in elements, right? So click, bloop. That might actually even be too smooth. I might not need that one. I might just go, let's see what's this like. Bloop, bloop. Yeah, I think we don't need the second one. It can just happen. Or maybe what we can do is we can make this first window open smooth. So it's like, whoop, that's nice. But then when the pop-up comes in like, bah! You know, like, ah, hey, I'm a pop-up. Go get this free vacation. Bah! You know? So let's so yeah, let's do that. Now we're gonna do pop-up window. Pop-up window. This really is quite a bit more complicated than just because of the layers. That I think we want to do is like we can have more layers because the layers are simple, but let's not add too much complication within the layers in terms of lighting and all that other stuff. So it's okay to have more layers because more layers are very simple. It's just more layers, but let's not have like a ton of things that we have to composite and do all that sort of stuff and tweak. Put myself in a box, I focus on the end goal, but finishing stuff, putting it out there is really rewarding. That's correct. It's just, everyone's going to work a little bit different. Everyone's going to, you know, the speed and all that stuff is very much like, you know, whatever works for you. Because I think, yeah, putting yourself at the center of your process is really like the best thing I think you could do for yourself. Of like, okay, you know, all this can be this or that or what have you, but like the main thing is like I gotta feel good about what we're making, because that's what ends up translating the most. All right, so we're gonna have this pop up. Let me actually look up what a pop-up looks like. It's been a while since I've seen a pop-up window. Pop-up images. Window. Old. Let's say old. Pop-up ad. Internet ad. Old. Okay. So it's got like the minimize, it's got the expand, and it's got the X. I think we're gonna go with, there's gonna be the icon, and then we're gonna have the X. That's the sort of format that we're going with. So we're just gonna, it's gonna pop in, and then slightly get smaller. So that way, like, there's a bit of different visual texture. You know, if we animated both of these sort of like moving at the same pace, then it feels like, oh, these are sort of the same types of things. But we want the pop-up to feel different. That's why we're changing the timing, and that's why instead of like settling in like we did with the other pop-up or with the main window, we're having him overshoot and then settle back. And hopefully that will make this feel different. So we have our main window, then we have our pop-up. And yeah, you can see that feels different, right? Weep versus boop. Weep, smooth, boop, overshoot, and then snap back. So yeah, good things, good little subtle things that that you can do to make your stuff sort of stand out and feel better. So I think the main thing is like he's gonna click. Hand-drawn computer strings is satisfying. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's I'm glad because like emulating this is a bit funny. So let's see. I think we'll have his hand because in the board, what he's doing again is he's gonna navigate. I think he clicks on the thing, the window pops up, and then this other thing pops up. So I think we need to give him, like, whatever's happening in this main screen, he's going to be wanting to click or to navigate into that. So I think we're just going to have the mouse cursor head. You can't see. I think we're going to have him move his hand that way. So like he's headed towards something for him to click on, like over here. And then the pop-up happens and it distracts him by, being on the other side. And again, that will add to the feeling of like, oh, I don't want this. It's just happening. All right, so let me. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, so let's do the hand animation first so that we can figure out the timing of that, even though it is kind of secondary. Because what you're mostly be watching is the cursor. But let's do the hand first. And again, let's try to keep it simple. We don't really need to make it like super smooth or anything. We just need to get the idea across for this. So, ooh, that thumb is jutting out nicely. Take another little sip. Dino Dog, welcome. We're doing some animation. I did a little TED Talk today. It was great. Hope you had a happy new year. And welcome to 2026. How is your doing? How was your New Year's? Did you party hardy? Is that something that you like to do? Did you eat? Did you sleep? I think I need to make lunch after this because I haven't eaten anything and I'm feeling it. Well, actually, no, I have eaten something. Megan was very kind to provide a nice pizza earlier. So, but I'm still hungry. So I think the thing I'm gonna do after this stream is get some yummies going. Get some num-nums. But yeah, I will finish this little thing. Like, I'll finish this today, and then that will be it for the stream. I've gone on a bit longer than I usually do, but I think that's because I talked more at the beginning. So I think it'll be good that I'm gonna stop. Let me see. Let's actually draw this over again. That I'm gonna stop in a bit. Like, let's stop when our energy is still okay and not like crash and then stop because we're crashing. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this has gone. I think it's coming out better than expected. I think I was a little intimidated by making the icons in this thing and like doing that sort of computer graphics facsimile. But then once you do it, you're just like, it's fine. Let's have him like again sort of anticipate like he's gonna click on something. And then like that'll make it so that when the pop-up comes up, he's like, oh, what's this? I can click on other thing? Let's see. I think he's supposed to move in a downward motion also, so let's actually have his hand move down a little bit. Mm-hmm. I forgot it was New Year's. You know what? I did too until I got on stream and realized, oh, I made this whole presentation. I like the turning of the year. As I said before on previous streams, I wish December was like 60 days, because I feel like the end of a year is it's a very special time. You know, it's like humanity might not agree on a lot, but it does agree that 2025 is now 2026, and that really means that can really be like a very meaningful type of experience for folks. You know, because like it's the end of the year, and you gotta like, you know, you get the chance to sort of evaluate like how this year went for you, how you feel about stuff. It's like a very important or I don't know if it's necessarily important, but it can be like a good time of reflection and like thinking about stuff. And like that's why I wish the end of the year was longer, so that people would have a bit more of an opportunity to be like, how did things go? How do I feel? And you know, it's I guess a bit of a luxury, because everybody's so busy that, you know, maybe people don't need time and don't want time to like really reflect on stuff. I'm just speaking for myself here. I get a little somber at the end of the year. I also get a little somber during my birthdays. I'm like, what does it mean? What does it mean? But I appreciate the opportunity to like sit in that for a second. Because like, you know, it's big. So okay, let's see what this looks like right now. He clicks, pops up, he's about to click, and then I think I'm gonna change the timing a little bit, because it feels like him lifting up his fingers is what's bringing up the other pop-up, you know. So we want to click, then move over here. What if I delayed this a little bit? So if it was like click, and then it's still like, I think it's still too close. I might get rid of the finger pulling up, because that's like drawing a bit too much attention to itself, and it's making it feel like that finger lift is what's prompting the pop-up to happen, which it's not bad, it's just a little confusing. So I'm gonna try to just get rid of the finger and see how that feels instead, because I don't want to add too much more time, you know. You just kind of want it to happen fairly quickly, so we can pay attention to what's happening in the pop-up. You don't want to be like looking at his finger acting, you know, when you want to pay attention to the relevant things, and the hand action is kind of secondary. So click, move, whoop, and then like, yeah. Okay, I think maybe it'll also be clearer when we move the cursor. So let me zoom out a little bit. Sorry, I'm so far away from the image. Let's have him move a little bit. It's just gonna move over here to click on something. All right, so how does this feel? So I think maybe what needs to happen is the pop-up needs to happen mid-move, because it feels like his move ends and then the pop-up happens. So whoop, click, and then maybe like a subtle move back towards the pop-up. I think that's what's needed, actually, to be like, wait a second, it's not intentional that like he's not intentionally making the pop-up happen. I think that's the main sort of thing you want to feel, and you want to be super clear. And I think that extra finger movement, that the way I had it before, was sort of muddling it up a little bit. And when you're communicating a story point, you want that point to be as clear as you can. All right, he's telekinetically opening up the pop-up. First telekinetically, and then fingerly with the actual cursor. So maybe if I just do this, where is it? Let's do this. All right. So now how's this look? So pop-up. Because there's also going to be animation in the pop-up because there's going to be like, text flashing like free vacation as per Greg's note. So I think like the free vacation thing will flash, but the little subtle movement of the mouse and the hand moving back towards the pop-up, we're just going to make it feel a little bit more intentional that he's like, hold on, wait a second, huh? All right, so let's see. Let's play back what we did today. This is a bit of a special type of animation of animation that I don't usually do. So let's see what we did today. I'll just play the whole thing first.
Wow, Boss is getting real good at drawing.
Okay, so you guys can also hear him saying, wow, Boss is really good at drawing, right? I assume you can hear that. I'm pretty sure the way I have this set up, you should be able to hear that. But anyways, let's play it again.
Wow, Boss is getting real good at drawing.
Yep, okay, cool.
Wow,
Great.
Boss is getting real good at drawing.
All right, puts it away, click, things opens up, and then up. I think we might need a little bit of a pause just because you're gonna see a bunch of graphics on the main cursor. So I think we just need a little bit more time to sort of register what you're gonna see there. So it's gonna pop up, see it, move, and then register this other thing. But yeah, a bit more, I wouldn't say technical. The animation isn't like super technical, but it is a little different than what I would usually do.
Boss is getting real good at drawing.
So fold that away, grab the mouse, click. Oh. Maybe I'll even add like an extra little settle pose actually for this. And then I'll sort of redraw this hand just to give it a bit more of like a, what the F was that? Almost swore on stream. I try not to swear on stream. Normally, I'm a yo-ho sailor when it comes to word choice. No, I don't actually swear that much. But yeah, let's just give it like a little extra draw over so that you feel a bit of like a extra movement for the settling process. And again, the point of this bit of extra drawing isn't for it to be smooth, it's for it to feel like, wait a second. So let's see. Yeah, it's like, huh? That extra drawing makes it feel a little bit like, what? Yeah, so click. Whoop. Yeah, it's pretty subtle, but I'm glad it's there. All right, looking good. Thanks, Dave. And I like the subtle, you can still see the trash icon right underneath the ad pop-up. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll need to design what the actual like ad looks like, and we'll need to design what the homepage of the internet looks like, and what he's gonna click on in this region. But I'm actually pretty happy with where this is right now. I think we made a lot of progress.
Wow, Boss is getting real good at drawing.
Click, and then yeah, I think it's gonna be good. So yeah, we made a lot of progress on this scene today. We did a little Roro dancing, which is always nice. And then of course, these are beat boards for Roro episode 2. There's gonna be stuff happening. Woo! There we go. And then of course it did our little New Year's presentation. So again, the theme for the year 2026 for me and Megan is let's go. I think Tom Brady has a segment on Fox Sports where it's called like the LFG Player of the Week, which stands for Let's Freaking Go Player. So yeah, but anyways, in a way, I feel like for the theme for the year is let's freaking go for it. Not because of Tom Brady, but because like we just want to see what we're gonna get up to and how much we can do if we really like put our minds to it. I'm gonna try to be focused. We're gonna try to go on more walks and still have time to like have dinners and stuff. But like, let's see how much can we really do. I'm gonna not be a flatfish. I'm gonna be a try hardest. And that means, for 6 days of the week, being very good about like eating and exercising and sleeping on time, the usual stuff. And then also like doing a stream for our members, and then having the 7th day to rest and to relax. I will export these and then put them all up on our Discord for folks who are interested, or who want to see the slides. It'll be up there. Maybe I'll put it on our YouTube side also, because you can put things on, whatchamacallit. You can put things on like for posts. I'm not sure. I'll ask Megan and see what she thinks. There we go. Yeah, I'll probably end up putting this on the Discord, and so you can see it there and reference it there if you're at all interested. But otherwise, yes, that's it for this stream. We went for 2 hours today, which is good. I feel like pretty good. Hopefully that means I'm building up a bit of endurance, both for streaming and just in general. But yeah, I'm gonna go try to make some food now, and that's all I got for today. All right. So for me and Megs, happy 2026, everybody. We will see you next week at the same time, Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific. I will start that member stream for our members on learning Blender, probably not this Monday, but the Monday after, so that I can build some time to actually learn a little bit. Because again, I don't want to come on stream and just watch tutorials and be like, oh, how does this work? I want to like do a bit of learning on my own, and then come on stream to share what I've learned and to do a little demo and to try to see how that works. So yeah, but we'll see you all later. Bye Dino Dog. Bye Dave. Happy 26 to everybody. Thanks to y'all who showed up. Thanks to Megan, and thanks to Greg, of course, for gifting, and to Lilith, and to Twinkie Winky too, and to Luna, and to everybody. Thank you all. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Bisous. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.